Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And man, that escalated. We're going to talk about the former president of IDW Entertainment getting 18 months in prison for embezzlement for fraud.
Oh, only 18 months.
Only 18 months. Well, he's got to pay restitution. But this is the guy who was the one who was trying to pimp all of IDW's comics to, Hulu and Netflix and whatever. And apparently he was cutting himself checks and forging receipts. And it's quite the tale. It even made the Hollywood Reporter. And I think a lot of people were sleeping on this one. I was sleeping on it because not a lot of people pay attention to IDW anymore.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's really going to pay attention to this video either. I just find it interesting.
Probably not. But, we've been covering IDW and the decline of what was at one point one of the top independent comic book publishers out there. And they had a lot of promise, a lot of potential, and then they just lost it all within a couple of years. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's insane.
I think it took longer than a couple of years, but yeah.
So this actually tracks. So people were like, why do you talk so much about IDW? Well, one, it's indicative of the comic book industry outside of Marvel and DC. It's very indicative of everything wrong with the comic book industry outside of Marvel and DC. Right. Two, I used to work for him. I used to do some work for him. So Geeky was going through our old office and she found some check stubs. And usually we'd save the first check stub from whatever place we worked for. And there was an IDW one. We got a Disney one. We got a Maker Studios one, which actually became part of Disney. That was a whole thing. So yeah, I used to freelance for IDW. Now I noticed back in the day that they were having difficulty paying people on time. Let's put it that way.
Was kind of what made you go, to begin with. But.
Yeah. So this is about 2014, 2015. This guy would have been there at the time. But I think I've said before that it was taking us like 6 months to get paid for stuff.
He got paid on time.
I'm sure he got paid on time with bonuses he gave himself. So we're gonna talk about this strange turn of events here. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Side note, I don't know this guy. This is David Ozer. He was the president of IDW from 2013 to 2018. But he looks like the most comic book publisher guy ever. Like if you were gonna pull up what does a comic book publisher editor look like, this guy. So yeah, it's come from ICV2, and then we'll go out to the Hollywood Reporter. Former president of IDW Entertainment gets 18 months for fraud. He was the president of IDW Entertainment from its founding in 2013. So this would be the movie side, the division that was trying to sell the movies, which actually was the undoing of IDW. They were fine as a comic book publisher, and then they wanted to chase streaming deals.
Mm-hmm. I guess it makes sense why. I mean, everybody was getting their IP picked up for shows, so I get why they wanted to do it, but it just didn't work out for them. It really undid them.
They got delisted from the stock exchange. Yeah. They've been playing musical chairs and editorial. They're always firing people. They shut their board game division down.
I would argue, the board game division didn't make sense to me, but I would argue that a lot of their problems were self-inflicted because of who they hired and what projects they went after and what they did to IP they had. Yes.
That is exactly.
I mean, this entertainment one on top of it just was icing on the cake, but the rest of it was their own poor decisions for the current, climate and modern audience bullshit.
So here's what he did. He said he's been sentenced to 18 months in federal prison after pleading guilty to 2 counts of wire fraud, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California announced. Ozer was also ordered to pay $399,000 in restitution.
So basically, he probably took a plea deal because he pled guilty. So
yeah. The 2 cases both related to embezzlement from productions in which he was involved. As president of Strong Studios, he was the producer of TV series Safe Haven, a role that allowed him to defraud the series' principal financial backer, Ravenswood Productions, of around $214,000 by faking invoices and other documents to show the payments as show expenses. He also solicited and diverted loans made to support TV series Endangered while asserting the money was being used to develop the show, including for fees for a script. He misappropriated the funds for his personal use, creating false documents to cover his tracks. Wow.
I wonder how he got caught. What if someone inside talk
Somebody
told on him?
IDW turned him in or something. During his time at IDW, the company sold 3 seasons of Winona Earp, 2 of Dirk Gently, and V-Wars wound up at Netflix. Ozer left IDW shortly after Ted Adams left the company, and he was replaced by another TV executive, Carrie McCluggage. So yeah, I think they have more on the Hollywood Reporter. But this,
I don't know how he got caught.
Let me see here. There's a
Did they tell you how he got caught? Because he's getting sentenced, but are you pleading guilty? But what did he have? How'd he get caught? Is what I want to know.
Well, here, let's go through here. They said after pleading guilty in the case, additional victims came forward over a TV series he said he was developing called Endangered. Separate scheme, he stole over $200,000 from investors, some of whom were told they'd get an executive producer credit on the series. He's an experienced businessman in the entertainment industry. Prosecutors wrote in a sentencing memo.
So did he get them to pay for executive producer credit?
Probably.
He kept the money?
Probably.
Because why would that matter? You know what I mean? They got told they were executive producer. Okay, cool. But they would have had to, it sounds to me like they paid him.
Well, you're helping him produce a new car or a better house, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He knew it was wrong to embezzle funds from his company's principal financial backer. He knew it was wrong to misappropriate funds from individual investors. So he previously was in charge of Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment's landmark
Which also
studio
went
group.
under, didn't it?
Yeah. And
nothing to do with him. I'm just saying it just did.
Yeah. So that's, oh my God. So this guy's, so this is where comics are at right now, because we cover more comics on this channel than we do movie stuff, or we did. They mentioned IDW as a footnote in this. They basically, because they know nobody's going to give a shit, so they're leading with TV producer gets 18 months for fraud. But they're like, oh yeah, he was in charge of IDW for like 5 years. He ran indie comic publisher IDW Entertainment. On top of the prison sentence, the judge, Stanley Blumfeld, ordered him to pay nearly $400,000 restitution. In a declaration to court, Ozer said he fell victim to an extortion scheme after responding to an ad on a popular ad.
What?
After responding,
His defense is he was being extorted.
Oh, app. Okay, it's supposed to be app. Okay, well apparently they're not.
But wait.
They're not using AI to write these articles.
I defrauded the company, or I defrauded investors and took money, because I was part of a blackmail scheme.
This individual threatened to suggestively expose my messages on the app in a way that would destroy my career, end my marriage, and bring shame to my family.
Whoa.
You looking for like a boyfriend or something?
No, that's what I'm saying. He had to have done something. Like, we're suggestively exposed my messages. So they catfished this person in some way. It was good in some way. Oh my God, dude! And they had dirt on him, and they were like, "You pay us, because you just ruined your marriage and your job and everything anyway."
Fearing for my relationship with my loved ones, I began making payments in a desperate attempt to make it stop. Yes, I'm sure your wife is real thrilled with you going to prison for 1.5 years.
Well, not just that. Now it's going to come out that that's why.
Yeah, what were the messages?
And the thing is, it never stops. You pay them once, and it's never going to stop. They're just going to continue to keep threatening you. So here's an idea. Don't do something shitty to begin with that gives somebody dirt on you to threaten you with.
Ozer continued paying the extortionists as he prepared to take the company public. He denied accusations that he spent the stolen funds on luxury items. His credits include serving as executive producer on Trigger Point and the producer of Willy's Wonderland. Damn it.
No, but
I love Willy's Wonderland.
So I want to know what he said that they were gonna expose in a suggestive way. That suggestive, you can't have something to expose unless you gave them something to expose.
Yeah.
So was this an underage person? Was this, he thought was this
he's in
dude,
the closet, or
another woman. Obviously he did something shitty or tried to do something shitty to the wrong person who was out just as to bait him, to extort him.
Oh my God.
Damn, dude. And then it screwed you anyway. I mean, no pun intended. Like the whole way around. Everything you were afraid of happened anyway.
I'm just looking at this guy and I'm like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you look like an office supply salesman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not
my money's on a dude personally, but
yeah, in Hollywood that would track. That would be I got my beard wife and I'm
that's saying, my money's on a dude or something. I don't know that. If I were to place bets, that's what I'd bet on.
Yeah, so there we go. I was like, is there any good news associated with IDW these days? Like, I can't think of any good news. Like, the comics they're putting out now, with the exception of Ninja Turtles, are not great. There's word that they're going to lose the rest of their licenses. They lost, just to show you how much of a failure IDW has been. They pretty much ran Transformers and G.I. Joe into the ground. Skybound gets a hold of them, and Skybound turns them into some of the best-selling books on the market.
Oh my gosh, a Kickstarter for the Transformers thing is like one of the top performing ones ever.
It's the top.
Yeah, it's like 4 million plus. And it's just, it's all because people didn't want Transformers. They just want the good Transformers. They didn't want, they wanted Transformers, not Transformers. You know what I mean?
That was the thing. IDW, like, seriously, you can trace all of the weirdness in the Transformers fandom that like gender identity is coming into Transformers. You can trace all of that back to IDW and them just letting these fanfic writers do their thing on these books. And it was so damn weird. Like when the comics started, the Transformers comics started, they were very, very good for the first couple of years. And then you could see like, and I think it's all interrelated. I think as you hire cheaper people, you basically get Wattpad writers or Tumblr.
Yeah, well, they're basically like, I'll work cheap because then I can use it as my, my agenda.
I'll create my OC, and my OC's conflicted about their gender identity.
My OC is another woman who loves RC, and
yeah, it's like, well, RC was made a female against her will. They basically, like, was it like?
So they put the trans in Transformers.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just weird. I mean, the IDW comics got weird.
Yeah, because like that, and you can say it's not just for IDW, it's just that they're a smaller company, so it probably impacted them harder. All these companies, like, they got these people in there, and all they did was take established things, and then they just messed with them, and then changed stuff, and then you instead of being a writer that's writing that character, they basically made the characters themselves. Like, it's a me, it's a stand-in for me or my friend or whatever, and then they just, everything has to have some kind of flag attached to it. And it's just insane. And then people aren't buying it. And then you go back to what people wanted, and it sells like hotcakes.
Meat and potatoes Transformers. They're robots that turn into
it's not hard to get it right.
It's not really hard. Autobots versus Decepticons, robots that turn into cars and shit, and they blow stuff up. That's not hard. My
favorite Transformers, Grimlock. But the one I probably identify closest to is Blur.
Blur. All right.
I don't mean to. I just talk very quickly.
This is I've tried speeding up our videos sometimes.
You can't probably make anything I say.
No, I can't.
People slow them down.
I love you, but I can't.
Sorry.
I can't. People actually
Western PA.
So I'm more California, like my daughter who's like really into languages, and she's really into, and that's probably what she's going to wind up going to school for is language. But she was like, she said, you talk a lot slower than most of the people around here do. And I can't help it. I try to talk faster. Actually,
I have to speed up videos on people because they're too slow for me.
Our older videos, we talk very fast. Do you want to know why we did? Here's a little inside baseball. The reason we talk so fast in our early videos is where we were living. We were on a busy road. So we would have to basically spit as much out as we could before the trucks came by.
Because it was on a main road, so the trucks would come down, and they had to use the air brakes.
And
so all you hear was boom, 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 boom.
And if you listen to some of those old videos, sometimes I couldn't cut it out, but it was so painful for me to edit those videos because we might have like 5 or 8 cuts in a video, and I have to go cut everything as much as I could. Sometimes I have to cut words out or whatever and try to splice it together, make it sound good. It took forever to edit videos. It was so damn painful, but that's why we talk so fast.
Well, I just talk fast normally, so.
Well, that's my excuse anyway.
No, it's not mine. This is my default. This is slow for me. Anyway.
Are we gonna wrap it up? Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. There we go, guys. Go on to prison. No, we'll just wait.
Well, he might. If I was right, if I'm right, then he might be happy there. Who knows?
Oh, all right. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.